Hey guys, Rob here with McDojoLife, and today we're going to be showing off a training technique that you should never use ever because it's terrible for you. Most people with common sense know this, but for those who don't know how this works, we'll break it down. Let's watch, and then let's go over it.
Vai cair? Não, não vai cair não, não vai cair não. Oxa, oxa. Não cai, não vira. Não vira. Não vira. Segura, Vitão, segura, Vitão. Ah, não foi. Aê, Carol. Aê, segura. Zica, zica. Zica. Segura, segura. Aixa, aixa.
Yeah, I left that last little chanting part in there just so that way you can kind of get a feel for the cult-like mentality. They're all just so excited to receive concussions today. Now, of course, what is a concussion? Let's break that down as well. So let's go over this little video. It's going to kind of explain exactly what a concussion is, and let's talk about the long-term effects about why this technique won't help you.
The brain is made of soft, fatty tissue with a consistency something like jello. Inside its protective membranes and the skull's hard casing, this delicate organ is usually well shielded. But a sudden jolt can make the brain shift and bump against the skull's hard interior. And unlike jello, the brain's tissue isn't uniform. It's made of a vast network of 90 billion neurons, which relay signals through their long axons to communicate throughout the brain and control our bodies. This spindly structure makes them very fragile, so that when impacted, neurons will stretch and even tear. That not only disrupts their ability to communicate, but as destroyed axons begin to degenerate, they also release toxins, causing the death of other neurons too. This combination of events causes a concussion.
All right, so one big misconception or myth that I've heard from several people is that the drill that we watched earlier was training your chin. It's not your chin that you need to train. That's not how that works. What happens is whenever you are pressing the brain against the inside wall of your head over and over and over again, you wind up getting something called CTE. You know, if you get knocked out during a concussion, during sport events, they stop the fight, it's over. But a lot of times, guys who don't get knocked out, they suffer the concussion, they keep going, it gets worse and worse and worse and worse. And with repeated blows to the head over a long period of time, you get something called CTE. Now, here's a video about what CTE is. Let's listen and watch what the doc has to say.
So chronic traumatic encephalopathy is a progressive neurodegeneration. The most common neurodegeneration that we know about is Alzheimer's disease, but CTE is similar. But in this case, in the case of CTE, it's triggered by repetitive head trauma. And we think that after sufficient amounts of head trauma, this disease starts to develop in your brain and then becomes a progressive, widespread brain disease as time goes on.
Now, with that said, a lot of the symptoms of CTE could be things like mood swings. It could be things like memory loss. It could be like speech impediment that develops over a long period of time, issues concentrating. All of that all comes from getting hit in the head repeatedly over and over and over and over and over again. Like not just taps, right? And I know a lot of people are like, well, I spar. Well, what kind of sparring are you doing? Because if you're doing heavy sparring all the time, then you're just opening yourself up for something like this, right? It doesn't always have to be about who's more macho and who gets hit the hardest. It should be about your health and longevity. And if you want to go out and you want to fight, that's completely fine. I say go for it. But you need to be aware of the consequences of what can come from that. And a lot of fighters over a long period of time getting hit start to develop things like this, and they lose their personality to become somebody completely different because of head trauma. So if you're at a gym that practices this behavior, stop. Don't do it anymore. Don't ever do that again. Don't ever allow somebody to just sit there and hit you without you defending yourself. Now, if you're going to spar, that's different. You have the ability to try to move your head out of the way. You have the ability to block. You have the ability to hit the person back. So you're getting hit less often. But when you're just standing there and the person's teeing off in your head, all you're doing is you're asking to get CTE. Then you're just going to put yourself in a worse position. And the worst part about it is you're not even going to notice it at first. It takes years for this to develop. So you're getting hit over and over and over and over and over again in this short period of time. Like, let's say within a year of training, you quit the training after a year of getting hit 2 to 3 times a week, just like that video, you're going to start to develop some CTE. It's going to be bad, man. So really start to speak up. If you see anything like this happening at a gym that you know of, or if you see anybody doing this practice as a habit, stop them now, because all it's going to do is hurt them in the long run. So thank you all for watching. Hopefully we all learned something today. I appreciate your input in the comment section below. Obviously, I'm not a subject matter expert on the ways of CTE. That's why I draw the videos up at the end of the during the video, so that way you guys can get your own thoughts and get thoughts from people. Like the one video was from a TED Talk. The other one was from a doctor. I definitely suggest if you feel like you're having any symptoms of CTE, go get it checked out. But as a last final thought, CTE cannot be diagnosed until after you're dead. So that's a little scary, but there are tricks and things that they can do for you. So definitely check out concussionfoundation.org if you feel like you have any of those symptoms, and keep your martial arts legit, but also keep your training safe. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that other crap that other YouTube people tell you to do. Deuces.